How Australian is that?
He's sort of wearing what you wore on tour in Queensland, actually, now that I think about it. I was complaining the other day that there's no Stephen Crowder in Australia. There's no one really doing the on-the-ground, change my mind stuff, being really brave like in the stories of old. And then I come across this guy. He's doing change my mind, COVID is a scam at Bondi Beach, and he just sits with anyone and has a chat with his table, and he's great. He knows some phenomenal stuff.
10 out of 10. See, that's what we need more of. I mean, pass on my best to Lochie.
Yeah.
Mate, what a champion he is. That's brilliant.
Look, we'll definitely meet Lochie in the near future. So last weekend, he upset all of the latte sipping Bondi people over there, and he ended up bringing all these people. And look at this. This has got 45,000 views on Instagram, and he doesn't have a massive account, by the way, guys. Only 3,000 followers. So this is huge. It really struck a chord with people. And what he did was he was walking around Bondi Junction through the shopping centres, and and he was shouting out, "COVID's a scam." You know, Gladys, stick your mask mandate up your butt in a very in a great way. And he had his speaker and he had his little posse following him, and it was awesome. And I happened to drop in. I thought, you know, if I'm going to cover this event, because I know the media is going to do a terrible job, and this is pretty much what it looked like. And there's the police.
Oh, I'd rather be a human than a slave. Oh, I'd rather be a human, but don't you know that you can rather be a human than a slave? You can stick your COVID all up your ass.
How Australian is that?
You can stick your COVID.
He's sort of wearing what you wore on tour in Queensland, actually, now that I think about it.
Stick your COVID normal with the sun and the sun. Stick your COVID normal up your ass. We are the 99%. Singing, we are the 99%. Singing, we are the 90%. Together we are mighty.
So that got a lot of attention. And meanwhile, what ended up happening, while this was happening, there was a social media mobbing that was going on of a business we visited yesterday called Love Crepe. Now, Love Crepe is a company. Last night, we released an interview. At the time of filming this, you guys will see this interview by that point. Last night, we released an interview of Love Crepe, and we did an interview with them. They copped social media mobbing. What ended up happening at Love Crepe? They said that we're not obligated to wear masks over a hot plate, according to the government officials we've talked to.
Services New South Wales, he rang them up and said, look, I've got guys working over the hot plate.
Yeah.
Do they have to wear it?
Yeah.
Absolutely not, said Services New South Wales.
Exactly. And wasn't there something written down somewhere that concreted that you ended up pulling up in the interview?
No. That's quite separate. No,
so quite separate. But the point was that there was a lot of confusion on this, and this poor business owner, he was copying this massive Instagram social media mobbing, and on Facebook as well. People giving him terrible Google reviews, and
who had never ever been there,
never been there before, not from the area.
As I explained to Nick, a lot of this social media mobbing, this pile-on, is absolutely fabricated. It's not real. But what it does is, if you get a handful of people doing this, everybody else gets scared to stand up, and so it's social media terror. Yeah. Terror is politically motivated violence.
That's
and,
right.
And what they're trying to do is they're terrifying people from actually standing up for the bloke.
That's right. And it's the modern version of the French Revolution execution, chopping your head off. This is unpersoning, because this is where you put yourself out there on social media. If you can't have a social media account, and if you can't get a bank account, as we might see with Donald Trump, they're coming after him. They're completely unpersoning him.
And as he said, he's not anti-mask or pro-mask.
That's right. He's not at all.
His primary objective, believe it or not, is to look after his staff. That's his primary concern.
That's right. Yeah, that's a true leader.
And he's trying to help them out. And he wanted clarification from good for nothing Gladys, the baby killer.
Exactly.
And they're giving conflicting instructions. And I raised the point that there's a possibility that it's actually an unlawful direction. Gladys is saying you can't do this. Brad Hazzard, that imbecile of a health minister for New South Wales, he said it's a privilege for us to be free to walk around. a lot of this is unlawful. A Biosecurity Act under the health section, you cannot force somebody to wear a mask or clothing or control their movements unless they are under a control order. Now, to be under a control order, and this is the federal government legislation, if federal legislation trumps state legislation if it's in the same area, you can't be under a control order unless you as an individual, not as a group, you as an individual have been proven in a court of law to be sick.
Yeah.
And so to make a blanket statement that you all got to mask up because you might, for say, it's unlawful because you have to prove a pandemic as well. That's another criteria. But you can't prove a pandemic because they haven't got the numbers.
Exactly.
So everything that Scotty for marketing is pushing and everything good for nothing Gladys and the rest of those imbecile state premiers is pushing, by and large, is likely to be absolutely unlawful. Now, folks, go to Advocate Me, and there's a lawyer down there, Serene, and she's doing a brilliant job. Check it out for yourselves. Don't believe me, but once again, if you give your kids the vaccine, remember the car travelling 100 kilometres an hour and you're crossing the road, you can't see it, we can. Please go to Advocate Me, see what Serene in Melbourne is saying about it. She's an absolute champion. She's absolutely heroic.
Now, why am I bringing up this business? Well, we weren't meant to be covering this. Channel 7 and Channel 9 were trying to get a hold of Nick and Love Crepe, which is the business, and he wouldn't talk to them. He asked, through our mutual friend Romeo Georges, he asked Romeo, he said, can you get a hold of Riccardo and Romeo and Joel? I don't trust Channel 9, I don't trust Channel 7, I only want to speak to them to cover this because I can't get the word out and I don't trust the media to film for 2 hours and then only take 2 seconds out of his statements. Because anyone that's watched the report, and you guys have seen it last night, they made it look like the police were knocking on his window, they were coming after him, but he was nowhere to be found, he's an anti-masker. How does that tie in with Lochie, that we just watched a video walking through Bondi Junction? Because Lachlan is a fan of the videos, that's why, and they put that in the report on Channel 7 and Channel 9. And so they're trying to get a hold of Nick, but they couldn't get a hold of the business owner. And because of that, they went to Lochie for a comment. What did Lochie do? He ended up filming, without them knowing, one of the Channel 9 news reporters, and he went back and forth with them. And you guys can see the photo of Lochie having a conversation there. That's on his Instagram. Check it out, Lochie Kavanagh. And I don't know. I'd never name. If you have the last name Kavanagh, I feel like they just come after you. I don't know what it is, but Lochie, you're doing some good work, mate. And as soon as Love Crepe opens up, and I hear that it might be on this Sunday, we're going to get out there and we're going to support you. And the poor guy, he's going to have so much business, he's not going to know what to do. He's going to have to maybe even expand the place because he has plans for that. And you guys can see the video of that right now, the new place he wants to sort of build. But he's got dreams. He's got employers to keep employed and employees. And he's just a business owner that pays his taxes, wants clarification from the government. You know? It's
not too much to ask, is it? It's not too much to ask. So if it is open on Sunday, check it out. Love Crepe in Drummoyne. Go buy a crepe because if it's open on Sunday, Joel and I will be there.
Absolutely.
Come and say hello.
It'd be a great opportunity to meet Riccardo, guys. Trust me. He's got 1,000 emails, 7,000 unread social media messages, hundreds of calls.
If you're trying to get through to me and I haven't responded, I'm not rude, please. It's just extremely time consuming.
It is.
Getting through them. And look, be persistent because I think I got 3 calls in the matter of about 15 minutes. I was doing the shopping at Coles.
Oh, okay.
And the phone just kept ringing and I took them. They said, oh, thank you, you answered. I said, mate, I'm sorry, please. But be persistent. Do your best. Just be patient as well.
Even I can't get a hold of you sometimes. And that's okay because I know you guys, you're running a party starting from scratch. You basically do everything at home, including the cooking, guys. Like he goes hard. I've had his pasta before. It's awesome. With his wife there who has MS, and then he's got his kids who are being homeschooled as well. Like he's a busy guy, but when he takes your call, he's actually on it for like an hour or so. Like he'll actually give you the attention, but difficult thing to balance when you've got half of Australia trying to get a hold of you.
But love crepe.
No, we love crepe. Absolutely.
Crepe.
Get to crepe. If you want to meet him, get to crepe. Trust me, that's the place.
Lions Road, Drummoyne, I think.
That's it, Drummoyne. So that's been released, and that was really awesome. I did want to touch on just a few other concepts before we call it a wrap for today. I'm conscious of time and these cameras, which I can't wait to get rid of, which are going to give out. But I just want to quickly say part of the fallout, because I love annoying our audience every now and then. Here's the congratulations from Hillary Clinton. She said, "Congratulations to the new senators from Georgia and to everyone who organized and voted to get them there. It's a new day, Hillary Clinton." Just to rub salt in the wound. There's a photo of her. Because of this,
I thought she was dead.
I thought she was too. She disappeared, didn't she? But now she's back.
Okay.
She's like, oh, maybe I actually did win the last presidential election. Poor lady.
All right.
But I also wanted to highlight Vernon